Hello, this is Amos, and welcome back to Backpacker Diaries. This video is part of a larger project of exploring the Great Western Trail in sections. It's a multi-use trail that stretches all the way from Mexico to Canada, through Arizona, Utah, Idaho, and potentially Wyoming and Montana. I'm going to celebrate my independence by continuing along the Great Western Trail with a stop at Meeks Lake, and then hopefully make it over to Chokecherry Point, which apparently has a spectacular view looking east over Capitol Reef and onto the Henry Mountains. Today's July 3rd, 2018. Got a couple nights to explore the Boulder Mountain area. Special shout out to Curtis, the ranger out of the LOA U.S. Forest Service office there. He recommended following a piece of the Great Western Trail, going up the Buhunin Creek Trail to connect with the Great Western Trail, which follows a canyon rim that has a full view of the panorama looking east over Capitol Reef towards the Henry Mountains. Most of it up above 10,000 feet, so that makes for a nice escape from the summer heat before dipping back down to the Buhunin Creek Trail. I was told that there are a couple of reliable water sources, one of them at Pleasant Lake and another one of them at Meeks Lake. It has been smoky in southern Utah this past week with a variety of wildfires that have broken out, especially in the Pine Valley Mountain area, where I did some hiking back in May, but also near Cedar City and Fish Lake as well. So hopefully this area will stay out of the smoke, and we'll see how I go. If you are visiting this part of Dixie National Forest during the summer months, could definitely recommend stopping by the Visitor Center near the Wildcat Trailhead. The Wildcat Visitor Center is open about 2.5 months out of the year, staffed by volunteers that'll be happy to share details of this area with you. I made it up Forest Service Road 247 as far as I could until I decided that I really like my car too much to be abusing it that much over rocky terrain like this on normal clearance. Not such a good idea if you want to not break down out in the boondocks. So from here I'll be walking up this way along the ATV trail and looking for that spur off to the left where apparently there's some signage that's missing, and see how I go. The trail's a little faint in places here. There are some cairns, but there is a well-defined trail for most of the way up until the first junction here. We definitely recommend the Avenza GPS map so you can follow along with where you're going. Finally up here at the junction with the Great Western Trail. And this is a multi-use trail, so there's a chance I might see some ATVs doing their thing up here too. There are stretches of it that are strictly non-motorized. It's going to be a nice view from the rim here for some time. So definitely one of the highlights of the hike. And now that I'm up on the rim of the plateau here, really nice gradual tread. No blowdowns, at least not yet. And intermittent views looking out towards where I'm headed tomorrow in the Boulder Mountain area. And at the times when the view looking east is available, I'll look into Capitol Reef National Park also. Well, I've come up on a Forest Service road here For those of you with vehicles that are more robust than mine, it definitely presents more options for trailheads you might start from to access this Boulder Mountain area and the Great Western Trail that goes through it. Today is the 4th of July, 2018, and yesterday started from near the Wildcat Trailhead in the Dixie National Forest here, north of Boulder, Utah. Made it into Pleasant Lake, and it definitely lived up to its name. Had it all to myself last night, apparently. Really enjoying the easier tread once I got up on the rim yesterday. I'm going to celebrate my independence by continuing along the Great Western Trail with a stop at Meeks Lake for lunch, and then hopefully make it over to Chokecherry Point, which apparently has a spectacular view, again looking east over Capitol Reef and onto the Henry Mountains. The visitor center there at the Wildcat Trailhead mentioned that there was a bear sighting at Meeks Lake a couple years ago around this time. Haven't seen any wildlife yet, but maybe I will today. We'll see how I go. Seems like every mile or so there's a little hidden meadow that opens up near the trail. It makes this part of the Great Western Trail that much more of a treat. Pretty neat scenery here in the Dixie National Forest. After checking out Chokecherry Point, it's not even 4 o'clock yet, so I'm going to go ahead and make my descent down the ATV trail here and maybe find some water at Chipmunk Springs. If not, I'll continue along the Terrace Trail and see how I go. Today's July 5th, 2018. After enjoying the rim trail that overlaps with at least an alternate route of the Great Western Trail yesterday, I dipped down to the Terrace Trail and started making my way back towards the car, and found a campsite here that actually is on an area popular for grazing here. Had a number of cows sort of milling about last night before I went to bed, and even had a bit of a call and response type of dialogue with one of them, so that was a good time. From here I've only got a short walk to get back to the Forest Service road where my car is parked. Overall, the trail has been a nice taste of solitude. Haven't seen anyone over the last couple days since I saw the people on the ATV going up Forest Road 247 there where I'm parked. Just seen a bunch of cows, both on top of the rim and more so below the rim here. Almost packed up, about to hit the trail and see how I go. I do like how the cattle reinforce the trail and keep it from sort of fading away here. Not that other hikers don't use this trail, but it's the cow hoof print that is mainly what I'm seeing. I really haven't seen any other footprints. Maybe all the cattle cover up the footprints pretty quickly, given the sheer volume of cattle that are grazing up in here. Haven't had any water to source from since the Meeks Lake, but I imagine there must be some water around here somewhere that the cattle are drinking from. With so much of the Boulder Mountain plateau above 10,000 feet, it does have a way of creating its own sort of weather system there. Similar to Fish Lake, there'll be a afternoon monsoon pattern, but with an early July trip like this, I was able to avoid that, fortunately. And now that I'm coming up on Forest Road 247, did find a little spring, which could be a water source if need be, but I'm almost back to the car, so not really worth stopping to filter. Also feeling a few sprinkles here. I think I'm kind of on the cusp of this storm band, so I think I'll be able to avoid most of the raindrops. That's all for now. See you next time.
On the next Backpacker Diaries.
On this hike, I'll be covering a section of the Great Western Trail that starts from Chokecherry Point and head northbound to Blind Lake and a few other lakes. Probably got a few scratches on my legs, but here I am. Lost Lake, now found.